Hey guys, what's up? This is Nakia Monét for Where's the Buzz, and I'm on the carpet for the Halo show that is premiering on Paramount Plus. One of the most legendary games, 20 years old, is now coming to a TV near you, so make sure you tune in for interviews and more exclusives.
Well, so you meet the chief in our show at the beginning of the show, and he's a character who's in a very small box, right? He's a guy who has had his memory suppressed, his childhood memories suppressed, and doesn't have any access to his interior life, doesn't have any concept of himself as a human being, really. He just knows himself as a super soldier, right? So that's the tiny box that you have to start with. And the beauty of, the course of the first season is that you, through the process of him starting to discover secrets from his past and start to feel and access his humanity for the first time, he's discovering more about who he is, and therefore we as an audience also learn about who he is. And so we're filling in the parts of the character that were never filled in because they were left blank for the gamer to fill it in from a first-person shooter video game, right? So this is the process of the first season. We're getting to know who the chief is, and from there, we're off to space, to tell stories in as many different ways as possible.
Yeah, so the Halo brand comes with a lot of fans, a lot of different fans, and I know it did really well at South by Southwest, so were you guys nervous, but also shocked at the reaction? Because sometimes super fans can get a little super, so is that something that you were worried about?
No, I wasn't worried about it. People are going to receive it however they receive it, and that's entirely up to them, I had my own artistic experience on this that will remain what it was, and nothing about how people are going to receive it is going to change that experience fundamentally for me. I'm really excited for people to see it because I think it's good, and I think people will enjoy it. I think it's a really interesting and dynamic universe that just feels so epic and big and interesting. Fans who love the Halo game, I think, will feel very familiar and at home in this world and get to experience the universe they love in totally new and exciting ways. And people who don't know it and have never played the game, I think it's on a big epic scale that I think will attract people in and should be a really nice adventure to go on, into other galaxies and dimensions.
Beautiful in this red.
Oh, thank you.
I love this.
I love the nails.
Thank you. They need to be done, but it's okay. I like your nails.
They're like growing out a little bit, but it's okay. We hide it. We still hide it.
Well, congratulations on Halo. Who is Quan? And how was you able to humanize her and bring her to life? Being that we come from a game and, it's a game, So how did you bring her to life and humanize her?
Well, actually for me it was different because Quan isn't from the game, so it was like really refreshing to start from a kind of, blank slate and then just kind of focus on, fighting for freedom, fighting for hope and all those kinds of stuff. And I think it's so important to kind of tell those stories, especially now, there's so many parallels and yeah, it was just really empowering for me to also play a character like Quan, and I don't really think we see a lot of characters like her on screen.
You really don't. I seen the trailer and I'm like, wow, look at all these amazing badass women. No shade to the guys, but I was like, there's a lot and I was like, who's Quan? She looks dope. So and because there's a lot of girls who game, and I feel like a lot of girls don't probably get the credit. So for you, how does it feel to play a character like that, to maybe have young girls look at this and be like, yo, she looks super awesome and I want to get to know her character?
I mean, that's kind of what I want to achieve, It's to inspire people. It's to inspire women to speak up for themselves, to be open-minded, to not feel like they have to create space for men, It's all this kind of stuff. Be a little bit stubborn, We live in a very patriarchal society, and so it's just trying to bring that to the forefront, and I think this story does that very well.
Yeah. I was speaking earlier because I was like, that sci-fi fans, they follow whatever it is, and they're huge fans, especially of Halo. And I know this is the type of show that maybe people who didn't play the game can tap into that. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, why do you think people can tap into the show, even if they never even played the game or even heard of the game?
I think I can speak especially with my character. Quan only knows her planet Madrigal, and everything she's experiencing is for the first time. And I think the audience, it's like an audience's eye in and way in to experience the Halo universe. And also, you know, we're trying to humanize Master Chief. We're trying to bring a story of humanity. So there's definitely Easter eggs for the fans. You know, you'll see the Needler, you'll see the Covenant, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So
Awesome. Thank you so much. Congratulations. I love this red. Red's your color. Yes. No, I'm kidding. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate
Have a good one. All right, Halo. So for something like this, you know, this is a video game and now we're bringing it to screen and for the fans to see. Were you nervous coming into this? Because the same thing I asked Pablo, you know, this comes with a brand of super fans. And I know it did really well at South by Southwest. So were you surprised by the reaction and were you nervous stepping in to taking on something this big?
You know, I came onto it with quite a lot of elan, and suddenly this 12-year-old nephew of mine, who has never given me the time of day, suddenly looked at me with stars in his eyes, and I said, oh my God, Shavana Bua is finally doing something that I really love. And so I went up in his esteem, and then an entire Halo world descended on me with such fear, fierce loyalists. It was just completely amazing, but it was so lovely to enter a world which was completely alien for me, because as an actor, that's what you keep looking for, so that you get a part that helps you to push the buttons, and in a genre that helps you to push the button. And so it's been an exciting journey.
And you're now the coolest auntie on the block in the world.
Viraj is coolest auntie, absolutely.
Yes. So because this is, you know, alien and it's new and it's going to be new to the audience, because we now get to see characters and we get to see them be humanized. For you, how do you humanize your character?
Well, I had to find what makes her tick, and Admiral Paramount is an authoritative person who's used to having people listen to her when she speaks. And she gets very conflicted because Dr. Catherine Halsey almost seduces her into breaking the rules. And she's somebody who's never broken the rules. And so it's a conflict within her, because at one level, it's something that is so unfamiliar, and on the other, she gets seduced into believing maybe that it is for the good of humanity to break rules. And so that was the central conflict that I had to find. And it's always more interesting to find parts that have conflicts in them, rather than somebody who's completely resolved.
Yeah, you guys killed it. Like, just watching the trailer alone, I'm like, this looks so badass. Because for me, you know, the game came out over 20 years ago. So for me as a kid playing the game and then now seeing real life people in it, I'm like, wow. And seeing badass female women characters was really super cool. Question for you, because everything is so digital and graphic and green screens, what was that like filming? Like, is it people in costumes? Is it green screen? Is it huge people on stealth?
It's all of it. And so, you know, you have a different skill set that is necessary. Mercifully, because I'm a trained actor, that came to my rescue, because you have to have, you know, a lot of imagination, and you have to have a lot of focus. And it's so much easier doing something that you know and understand. But if it's an entirely alien world, then how do you make sense of it is a challenge.
Exactly. Well, I can't wait for the audience to see it. I can't wait to see it because it looks amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I was asking everyone this question because Halo comes with, you know, it's a brand, and it's a very important brand, and it's been around for over 20 years, and the fans do not play. So was that something that scared you a little bit, and were you surprised at the reaction? Because it did really, really well.
Yeah, well, I was very surprised because I knew about the game, but I wasn't ever a player. My son plays it, and I got a sense of how important it was to everybody quite sort of early on, and then I felt a little bit of pressure. But you know, we're up to it. We're excited.
Yes. Well, you say you didn't like really play the game or touch the game. Do you think this is a show where people who are new to the game world and new to the Halo world, they can tap into the show?
That's the hope. That's the intention. You know, there's a lot to draw from in terms of the folklore and also, you know, I think this is an amazing cast. I think it's an amazing show, and there's a real sort of, you know, desire to make this appealing to everybody, you know, and so I hope we've achieved that.
I know it was a long journey to get here. So were you a part of that journey, and what was it like emotionally and physically for you?
Well, I came on right at the end, just before we started filming, so I've been involved for the last 2 years. But I've heard all the stories about how long it's taken.
Even 2 years? That's a journey.
Even 2 years, yeah. No, it was supposed to take 6 months, and we're still here. We were still here 2 years later. But you know, despite all of the global pandemic and all the things that have happened, we're here right now, and I'm really excited. I'm really proud of us as a company. And you know, I was also on Black Panther, and so that also had its turbulent moments. But you know, the show must go on.
The show must go on, and all came out great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
It looks kick-ass.
Yeah.
Question for you, because it does look so physical with the costumes and everything going on. What was that like? What's costuming like? Was it heavy? Were you able to walk around and go to the bathroom?
Yeah, I think they really helped me out with the costume. It was they were very kind. So I've got a range of 2 outfits. One that's very much the kind of official, you know, the office outfit, and but not too many changes, you know, but beautifully designed. And then I've got my battle outfit, which is really exciting.
It looks so dope. I seen the trailer. I was like,
yeah. No, that for me is it just adds to the whole kind of excitement. You know, we're in a sci-fi show. You know, it's great. It's great. Yeah.
Thank you so much and congratulations. I know the sci-fi fans can be a lot, but they mean well because they're very protective. So I know everyone's gonna love it.
Good. Thank you very much. Nice.
Thank you. Have a good one. That's welcome. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, Riz?
Yes.
Who is Riz, and for you, how did you tap into her and bring her to life and to humanize her?
That's really interesting, actually. Yeah, Riz 028 is a Spartan super soldier, and she's part of Silver Team. And I kind of used the script, I kind of did some backstory, and just got a feel for the character of her loyalty. You know, she's this war machine, but then she's also human, right? We're not machines. We are human. We were born human. We were stolen at 6, taken from our parents, indoctrinated, trained up, augmented. Like, what does that do to a human being, you know? And that was kind of the most exciting thing to get involved in, because I felt so much empathy for them as well. I kind of felt really sorry for them, actually, even though they're these huge, massive killing machines. I kind of feel a bit like...
That's what a good story is, and that's what great acting is. It brings the characters to life, because when you first hear that Halo is going to turn into a show, you're like, how does that happen? So watching the trailer, I think that you guys did like an amazing job. Yeah, question for you. You know, Halo comes with a brand.
Yeah.
It is a brand of itself, and it comes with lots of different fans.
Yeah.
But the fans don't play. So was that something that you were nervous about? And were you surprised at the reaction? Because it did so well at South by Southwest. So were you surprised at that, and were you nervous?
Yeah, and I actually, because I was in The Witcher as well for one episode, and I'm kind of that was my first taste of like Pete fans and source material, you know, in terms of like authenticity, and it was a scary prospect. But I like to think I've got a thick skin, so I try and just, you know, wash it off and pick myself back up. But it was great, having a good reaction. I think once people watch it, they'll see the vision, and they'll hopefully get on board, because we've worked so hard, and we've really taken the games into consideration, you know, and the lore and the backstory, and, you know, research, like reading the graphic novels and stuff like that. You know, it's like we care. So we want other people to enjoy it as well.
Love it. Well, even seeing your character and seeing the trailer and seeing like badass women in the trailer, and especially because, you know, everyone games. There are girls who games, there's guys who game, but I feel like for girls being able to watch this and watching your character and the other like powerful women, I think it's going to be something like, what do you think that the girls can take away from that?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited by it. I'm also, because I'm 35, and I feel like there's not a lot of roles in the entertainment industry for like women in their 30s, 40s. Like, it's a bit thin on the ground, you're often just wife, girlfriend, or whatever, and it's really refreshing to be able to play a character that isn't bound by any of that. They are existing in their own right as fighters, and that is just fascinating for me. It's not in the prism of, and they're just soldiers, and that's their lives, and it's just fascinating and it's interesting. Especially being in your 30s and being able to play like a badass character. Yeah,
That's all right, because us in our 30s, we're badass. So
yeah, exactly. And 30s. If only I knew in my 20s that 30s was like way better.
so lit. It's amazing.
It's amazing. And I'm actually thinking about my 40s. I'm like, do you know what? I think it's actually just going to get better.
I heard it's pretty good. When you're in your 20s, we get nervous, but when you get to your 30s, you're like, wait, this is actually amazing.
It's actually amazing. I've got money. I don't care what people think. Like, I can just do what I want. Like, yeah, it's fine.
So that's awesome. So congratulations. I can't wait for fans to see it and to see your character Riz kick ass.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.